Hello, people. There we go. Yeah, we are here. We are alive. Hello, welcome to KBM Sports.
Did you say the previous goaltending is being reviewed?
Yeah.
You should have reviewed that.
How are they reviewing it now?
Right. You should have reviewed that plays ago. Can't take those points off the board now. Brady said, why are they reviewing it now?
Oh man, you guys, I'm just sending it out. But I'm not even looking at TV right now, and I don't want to know what's going on. Like, I don't.
I know you heard that too.
That sounded crazy in my head right there. Like, I don't know what it was, but I'm scared. Alright. So right now, let's look at the scores going on right now. There's a lot going on in college basketball right now. There is. We're in the last 6 to 7 games for some teams. Well, most teams. Some teams have remakes. And then we have some games though right now going on. Iowa State versus Texas Tech. Iowa State is pulling away on Texas Tech now. It's a 17-point game. Is Iowa State for real? Is there a team that no one's really talking about, and they're number 10 in the country? Who has... Let's see who they've played.
Who do they have on their roster?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's diagnose it. Okay, so they started their season off for Green Bay, beat them 85-44. Green Bay is a tournament team, though, technically. If they win the Horizon League and they beat out Oakland and... Who's in second place in the Horizon League? Who is it? I forgot. But they could make it. Youngstown State. If they beat those two teams, they're making the tournament. They'll be a 16 seed. But that's a tournament team that they beat 85-44. It means a 16 seed, but you beat them. So that's a tournament team. They're in the field of 68 if they win their division or conference. Lindenwood sucks. They beat them 102-47, but they lost to Virginia Tech and Texas A&M. So that's 2 losses. They lost them back-to-back games. I mean, they beat Iowa. Iowa's not good, though. Then they lost to number 11 Oklahoma, 71-63. But then they went and beat Houston. And then they beat Oklahoma State, but then they went and lost by 15 to number 20 BYU. And then they beat TCU the next game, who was 19th. Then they went Kansas State. Then they beat Kansas. Then they lost to Baylor. And then they're on a 3-game win streak now with Texas, TCU, and Cincinnati. So I don't know. As they lose to Oklahoma, BYU, and Baylor, but they can beat Houston and Kansas? But they lose to an Oklahoma. How does that make it make sense to me on how I was, like, their points per game is 13.8 points. Keyshawn Gilbert, a guard, number 10. That is their best player. For averaging, I mean, not a high-scoring point leader. Only 13.8, and that's their leading point. Leading scorer is 13.8, Trey.
That's their leading scorer?
Yeah.
What is he? What grade?
He's a guard. Keyshawn Gilbert.
You know what I'm saying? Is he like a freshman, sophomore?
He's a junior. Right now he has 6.3 rebounds and 1 assist in that game. Because right now, let's see what Illinois. This is bracketology. Joe Lenardi's. We'll get into the on the bubble in a minute. We're just going to talk about Iowa State real quick because this is a team that has really been confusing me. Right now, they're a 3 seed. Iowa State would play Vermont. A 3-14 matchup. But then if they win that, they would go and play either Kentucky or Nevada or Utah. So I feel like if they get out of the first round, they have a challenge, and that will show if they're real.
Oh, my God.
He just got dropped?
He dropped 2 people at the same time. Please show that on replay. Please show that on replay.
We just watched Alabama. We're watching Alabama versus Texas A&M right now.
No, they didn't show the replay.
They don't want. They want that kid's dignity to still be there.
He dropped one dude, and then the other dude was trying to play defense, and he dropped him.
Damn, that should bad.
2-1 plays crazy.
Wow, Indiana State was like an 8 seed going into this week. They're now a 12 seed.
Damn.
They would play BYU first round.
Off one loss? Based off one loss?
Illinois State sucks. Like, they're not good. Like, let's go to... If I click on them, that will bring me to it, right? Yep. Like, Indiana State, let's see who their losses are, too. They lost to Alabama the second game of the season at Alabama, 102-80. Mm-hmm. They're 22-4. Drake is in second place, who is 21-5. So it's a battle between those two, and then Bradley is 18-8, who's 3 games back. So the Missouri Valley Conference is still up for grabs.
Dang, there's no clear-cut winner.
No, because it's within 3 games of first, second, and third. Then they lost at Michigan State. And then they lost at Drake. But then they beat Drake the second time they played him. But then they lost to Illinois State, bro. That's just bad. Illinois State? Like, you can't lose to Illinois State. I mean, their leading scorer is Isaiah Swoop, who's a guard. He's averaging 17.7. He's a junior. He'll be in the transfer portal.
Yeah, this game's getting a little out of hand now.
That looked like he was going to go down hard there.
Yep.
But they're averaging 84.9 points per game, Indiana State. But they're not playing nobody like that. And when they played Alabama, they let up 102. They put up 80, though.
Alabama's been putting up 100 on everybody.
Yes. And then they lost.
They're about to have 50 points in one quarter.
And then they lost to Michigan State, but at Michigan State. I mean, they lost to the big-name opponents they played. So
they're not ready for those big-name opponents. So in the tournament, they're not going to make no noise.
They may make it past the first round because they projected to play BYU.
Round, but then they're out second.
But then they'll play a team like Illinois. How is Illinois doing this year?
Not bad, honestly.
I mean, I feel like Illinois isn't terrible. But imagine we get an Indiana State-Illinois second-round matchup.
See, Illinois is 14th, right?
Yeah, they're 18-6. They've lost to Marquette.
Which isn't that bad. Marquette's actually...
It was third game of the year.
Exactly. Oh, he's hurt.
But then they lost at Tennessee, 86-79. So that's their 2. But they beat Florida Atlantic, 98-89. They beat Rutgers 76-58. Those are 2 pretty impressive wins.
How bad they lose to Tennessee?
86-79.
It's not horrible.
I mean, then they lost to Purdue by 5.
So they're.
But then they lost to Maryland.
Is Maryland
They're 14-11.
Yeah, they're bad.
They lost to them by 9.
Everybody's gonna lose to an unranked.
Then they lost to Northwestern, and then they have been.
Northwestern's good though.
Yeah, but then they lost at Michigan State. But their losses are like win 2 games. They went beat Northwestern, lost to Purdue, beat Michigan State, lost to Maryland, beat Michigan, beat Rutgers, lost to Northwestern, then went on a 3-game win streak with beating Indiana, Ohio State, and Nebraska, and then they lost at Michigan State. But now they play Michigan, and then they get a rematch against Maryland today at 5:30 at Maryland though.
Oh shit.
So that's a game that they need a win to show that they can come back. It was just a first game skid.
Yeah, it was a fluke when they lost to them the first time.
And then they play. This is the rest of their schedule. Ooh, damn. They go Penn State. So they go at Maryland, at Penn State. Then they go at home versus Iowa and Minnesota. Minnesota is not a sleeper. Minnesota is a sleeper team, I think, to make the tournament. I don't know if I don't think they're in it right now, but they don't have a terrible record from what I remember. Yeah, they're 15-9, Minnesota.
Ooh.
Minnesota, they're 15-9. So they could make the tournament.
16-9, but they'd have to win out almost.
Yeah.
Can only afford to lose like one more game.
We'll look at them in a minute.
For them to really be able to like make the tournament. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we'll have to see what they do, what Illinois will do. Like what, because Illinois has, then they play at San Diego State. They're saying now a 4. But my question is, how is Purdue the number 1 overall when they're not even the number 1 overall in the country? How does that make sense?
They have this thing for Purdue where we're gonna make you guys as high as you guys possibly can be, and then when you get into like the second round or like the round of round of 32.
Yeah, round of 6. Then it goes field of 64. Round of 32, Sweet 16, Elite 8.
Yeah, when they get to the round of 32, I knew it. Yep. So, when the round of 32 comes, they're not the same Purdue team they were in the regular season.
So what is Illinois going to be right
Coleman Hawkins is low-key tough, though.
Yes. Illinois is going to be a 4 seed.
Which is not bad, honestly.
Which isn't. What is the...
I think they'll make it, like, they're asking, are they poised to make a deep run? I think they are.
But they have...
Depends on who they get matched up against.
They got UConn in their division. Or that's their conference, UConn.
But if they beat UConn or give UConn a good game...
Yeah, but then they also got North Carolina, too, if they make it to the Elite 8.
North Carolina, I'm sorry. North Carolina just lost to Syracuse.
If you get a zone... North Carolina, I feel like if it's a bottom-feeding team, they won't win.
They won't.
But they'll beat the fuck out of High Point.
Definitely will, but
like when they play, if they play like a Michigan State, I can see them losing.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Like they're young in my opinion. They're young, but they're old.
They're young, but have experienced veterans on their team. Yes, because they do have a lot of young kids on that team. But Armando Bacot and R.J. Davis are like the leaders of the team.
But then you got. Let's look at the bubble teams. So Butler, Boise State, TCU, Nebraska. So let's look what Butler got. Butler, I think, is playing right now as we speak. It could be wrong. Butler is 16-9. They have losses to at Michigan State versus Florida Atlantic, Providence, St. John's, and UConn, 3 straight right there. Then they went and lost to Seton Hall and Xavier. And then they went on a win streak, but now they've lost to UConn. Then they beat Providence. They lost to Marquette. So they need to beat Creighton today. And what is the score right now of this game versus Creighton? It is 14-11 right now for Creighton versus Butler. Butler is up. This is a must-win for Butler, though. If Butler loses this, I think you could kind of say Butler may be out of the tournament. Because what does Butler have the rest of the season? They have nobody the rest of the season. They play at Villanova, at Seton Hall, versus St. John's, at DePaul, and versus Xavier.
Yeah, that ain't no tough schedule.
I mean, Villanova is a bubble team too. Like Villanova's
they're not a team that's gonna shock you and be like, wow.
Like, and Villanova hasn't beaten anybody this year. Like,
I don't even think Villanova's good this year.
Villanova, I think they have 11 losses.
Yeah,
they're 14 and 11. How are they? But my only reason why they're there is because of their name.
Yeah, literally.
Because
they're a blue blood.
Because they are a blue blood. But are they really a blue blood?
Yeah. You'd have to put Villanova as a blue blood.
Like,
they have more than 3.
Haven't. I'm looking at. I want St. John's to make it. I do.
I just can't see it happening.
I mean, who do they have left?
Gonzaga's gonna get in before them, and they're in the same conference or whatever.
No, Gonzaga's in the West Conference. They're in St. Mary's.
Oh, St. Mary's.
Yeah,
that's who I'm thinking of.
I mean, they did. St. John's did lose to Michigan.
And Michigan's terrible this year.
And St. John's is 14 and 11, but
yeah, they ain't making it, bro.
But what is their final?
Kiss that hope goodbye.
No, if they win out,
nope. You can kiss that goodbye.
If they beat Creighton, yeah.
I don't see them beating Creighton. Creighton's like top 15.
Yeah, they're on a 2-game losing streak too. Yeah, they're not. They're not
losing.
Nah, they're not losing. Yeah. But I mean, hey, first year. I think St. John's will be a team next year. They will be a team of the future, I think. I'm not saying right now. Like, if they make the tournament, I think they'll go far in the NIT, though.
I was about to say, they'll definitely make it probably in the NIT, but not in the tournament.
Let's see what Villanova's lost. Villanova lost to St. Joseph's and Drexel. St. Joseph's and Drexel. Drexel, bro. Drexel.
What's their record?
I don't know, but that's just bad. At the time, Drexel was 5-3. Villanova was number 18 in the country. Not statistics. They're 16-10. And their leading scorer is averaging 12.3.
That's all you had to tell me.
Wow. That's just bad. But I mean, they're the Dragons, so that's fucking cool. I still believe the Dragons existed. Let's see. Damn, they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They lost 5 in a row, and then 1, and then they lost again. How are they in the fucking picture, though, is my question.
Scoring first quarter. Well, it's 22-21 at halftime.
Who?
Virginia, Wake Forest.
Who's up?
Wake Forest.
Let's go. It's Wake Forest right now. They're on the bubble, right? Yup, yeah. They're the first team out. If they pick up that win, I think that may secure them in the tournament. Like, let's see what else they have. I mean, they lost to Georgia and Utah, and then they lost to LSU. Those are 3 big losses. But they beat...
LSU's not that bad. Wait.
They have 10 losses.
I was going to say, I've seen the game. They weren't good, obviously, but they weren't... they weren't horrible.
Yeah. But they beat Florida and Rutgers.
Who? LSU?
Or Wake Forest. And then they've...
Kansas State's up by 4 at half on TCU. Davidson, James Madison, Maryland, and who's J at ST?
Georgia State. I mean, they just lost.
Lived a good life though. 92 years old.
I mean, Wake Forest just lost to Duke. But if they win out, that means they would be number 21 Virginia, beat Duke, knock Pitt out. Then they play at Notre Dame, at Virginia Tech, versus Georgia Tech, and they end the season with Clemson. That would be 1, 2, 3 tournament teams, because I think Clemson's in it. Correct? That's the wrong one.
Clemson's in it.
Is Clemson? But what is their ranking?
Syracuse is in it, I think, too, right?
No, Syracuse isn't yet.
Not yet.
Is Clemson even in the? No. Yes, they are. They're 5th.
I was about to say Clemson's.
I was like, Clemson has to be in here.
Clemson ain't bad.
No, so they're 5th. So they're a 5 seed. So if say they beat them, so say they beat Virginia. Virginia is a. Hello, Mom. Virginia is a. What seed is it? Virginia is a Virginia. Virginia's an 8 seed.
Virginia?
Yeah, and Duke's a 4 seed. So that means it would be a 8 seed, a 4 seed, and a 5 seed in their last games of the year. You gotta put them in the tournament if they win out. But if they lose, yeah, their season's done. Let's see if there's any other games outside of top 25 that are. What is. Oh. I'm just gonna shut up. So it is 30. Damn. It's 38-24 at half for Iowa State, Texas Tech. Iowa State is up. Alabama's up by 14-2 against Texas A&M. Right now, the second half just started for the Wake Forest Virginia game, and Wake Forest is now down. Virginia goes on a 8-2 run, 29-24 now. Butler is up with 6:48 remaining in this first half. It is a 24-18 game. Houston and Texas just started. It's a 4-3 game. Then we have Fordham, Dayton starting at 1:30.
Who do you got, Marquette or UConn?
I got UConn. I got North Carolina. I got Kansas actually beating Oklahoma. Then I got Auburn beating.
I actually have Virginia Tech beating North Carolina. You said you have who beating who?
I have.
Don't say you have Oklahoma beating Kansas.
No, I have Kansas beating Oklahoma.
Me too.
I don't see them losing that one.
I don't either.
I don't. It's if they lose that one, Kansas is done. If Kansas, but they don't have anybody. What the fuck was that? Oh. Bro, can this shit just... There we go. Ever tried those shits? Nah. Bro, I want to try them shits. Nerf gummy clusters. Wait.
Where will we get those shits?
I think I tried them with my girl. I don't know. I'll go buy them though today so I can try them. Huh? I'll buy them today. No, I don't know. What? We just got sidetracked.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, we had a big game though for tournament talks right here. We have TCU versus Kansas State. Kansas State is Kansas State still in the tournament? Are they still in conversation to be in the tournament? Oh shit. No, Kansas State is not in the conversations no more.
For what?
They're not even in March Madness right now. Kansas State.
Really?
Yeah,
they're up right now on TCU.
I know, but they just fell. They're falling hardcore. Who are their losses to? That's the question we gotta see. Who did they lose to? What the fuck? Let's see what Kansas State has lost to, though. What's made them fall? Because they were top 20, weren't they?
Yeah, at one point.
They were, well, that's not good. I'm looking up on my phone, you guys, so right now my computer don't want to work. I mean, they beat Kansas, but in February they've lost to Oklahoma State. I guess I gotta exit out of this. I mean, they went on a 3-game. Wait. They went on a 5-game losing streak. Kansas State. That's not... Yeah, Kansas State went on a 5-game losing streak. So that's more likely why they've fallen out.
Kansas State?
Yeah. Iowa State is up 43-27 now. 16-point game. If I can do math correctly. Then we got Nebraska versus Penn State. Was Nebraska on the watch? Yeah, Nebraska won the last 4 byes. So Nebraska will probably be like a 10 seed, I'm guessing. Nebraska will be 11 seed. They'll play Texas Tech first round. That's a good game. Nebraska, Texas Tech first round. Nebraska's 17-8 right now. They're playing Penn State, and they're on the bubble, so it's a must-win if you're on the bubble, no matter what. If you're the last, if you're a bye, if you're anything, it's a must-win for you guys. Butler's up 29-24 now. Richmond is up against George Washington, 47-35. That's a big. That would help Richmond, but that would hurt UMass. We got Boston University versus Navy. Boston University is 10-16, and Navy is 8-16. That is a game of the year. Georgia. Oh no, this is a must-win for Florida. Florida is down 20-11 against 14-10 Georgia. I think that would, if they lose to them, I think that would put Georgia or Florida on the bubble watch.
It probably would, because Florida. How many losses do they have? 9.
Florida has 7.
Oh yeah.
I think that you're gonna see, in my opinion, I think you're gonna see Boise State and Nebraska take themselves off of that list for byes, and they're gonna be okay. And I think you're gonna see Florida drop onto that, and I think you're gonna see Wake Forest take their names off of the first. They're gonna be the last team in. I think. I really think Wake Forest is gonna be the last team in. But if they lose, then they won't be. We have a military school battle. We have VMI versus the Citadel. Both teams are 1-12 in the Southern. Citadel is 9-17. VMI is 4-22. That could be one of the games that is remembered in history. Then we got Detroit Mercer, who picked up their first win. They were 0-26 until they beat IUPUI. Yup, that's a tongue twister. And then we have Albany versus UMBC. Remember UMBC? Mm-hmm. Remember them? Hey, Virginia. Yes, I just threw it straight at you. Let's see what UMass plays today. UMass plays at 2 at LaSalle. UMass is a 6.5-point favorite.
Who?
UMass is a 6.5-point favorite.
Who they play?
LaSalle, who is 2-10 in the A10. I feel like that's a must win.
It is. You have to win that. And
Especially because coming off,
them, right? Or they come to UMass?
They're going there. It's in Philly. What does LaSalle University look like? It's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I bet you it's a lot of brick buildings. Yep. That's what LaSalle look like. Doesn't look terrible. I mean, it
don't look terrible, but it looks weird.
I mean, it's a weirdly shaped college. Like, it doesn't look that big.
That's what I'm saying. It don't look big space-wise.
Compared to, like, or UMass.
Or Rhode Island.
Yeah. Where the hell was I? Twelve to 7, Houston is up.
On Kansas?
Yeah.
Damn.
12. Wake Forest is down by 5 now. I just don't want to load either. My computer is slowly crashing. You see what? You know who Juju Watson is? You know who that is?
The dude from the Nuggets?
No. It's this, she's a star basketball player. Like, she put up, like, 60 points for USC this year. Or, like, 50-something. She's a freshman.
She's nice.
Yeah, like, they were talking about it on ESPN, and I was like, who? Like, is that no one like, I didn't, like, I don't follow that. Like, yeah.
Black.
I don't know. I'm not going to assume. But, like.
She's definitely of color, probably, right?
Yeah, like, she's going to be a first pick, I think, overall. Yeah. Like.
She got 50?
Yeah. Against, like, Stanford, too.
Stanford's good.
Stanford was, like, number 3. Like, if Iowa State can't win this, or Iowa State wins this by double digits, they may be for real. Because Texas Tech just didn't they? Yeah, they just beat Kansas. They beat them by 26.
Yeah, that was bad.
So Houston's the favorite to win the Big 12?
Yep, which I don't know why though.
I think you could see it. Iowa State may win that Big 12.
Has Iowa State beat either Kansas or whatchamacallit?
I don't know. Let's look.
It really is both. The first ever Lexus RX plug-in hybrid.
Like many women over 40, I'm starting to get more dark spots.
They beat Houston 57-53.
Oh,
They beat Kansas,
yep, never mind. I'll shut it.
but they lost to Baylor, and they lost to Oklahoma. And they next game after Texas Tech, they play at Houston. Oh shit! They play at Houston. They play West Virginia. And they play Oklahoma. And then they play at UCF. And they play versus BYU. And they finish season at Kansas State. They win out. They're my favorite. You know who plays there? Hassan. Remember
From
Hassan?
Central?
Yeah. He plays for Iowa State.
He goes to Iowa State now. He started at VCU, right?
Yeah. He averages like, I think it was like 6 points a game. I mean,
It's better than nothing.
yeah.
senior now?
Yeah. He has 6.3, 4.3, 1.1. He's 6'9", 230.
So he put on weight.
Yeah.
He was not no damn 230 in high school.
No, he was 130.
Literally.
But he was 6'9".
Yep.
46 to 30.
You know, Doug, ever since switching to workday, you've been a real rock star. Rock star? What do you know about rock stars?
I mean, he had 4 rebounds against Kansas in 22 minutes. He's averaging 17.1 for them.
Who?
He's averaging 17.1 minutes.
That's pretty good minutes though.
He's never been a high scorer though. His highest average ever was in 2021 with 6.5, averaging 20.3 minutes per game.
2021 was his what?
Junior year. COVID year. No, COVID was his sophomore year.
Great benefits from principal, so I know I'm taking care of people. And not just me, but the ones who matter most to me.
But he's averaging 1 block and 1 steal per game. And 4.3 rebounds, so I mean he's doing what he has to do. Do you think that Memphis will make it?
Huh?
Do you think Memphis will make it?
Yeah. I say Memphis does.
I don't think they do. They lost, I remember I was watching their game, and they had this big lead on this team. They were up by like 20. That team, I think it was like USF, South Florida. They came back and beat them. I was like, Memphis, that is just bad for business, in my opinion. Like, that is just bad. Then you got, I don't think Ole Miss is good.
I don't either. I told you.
They started off amazing. But when they got into SEC real play, like the real teams,
They started to show.
they showed that they had flaws hardcore. Then you got Utah. We talked about Utah, me and you, like here and there. Like they are a confusing team. Like they're 15-10, but they have big wins, but they have big losses. I feel like that's the story with every team this year, except for like the top 10. Even the top 10 has some big losses. You know what I mean? Like, this year it's so wide open, it's not even funny and it's scary.
I told you that yesterday.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to win it.
You really don't, because, like...
And you can't say UConn's a clear-cut favorite because they're not the same UConn team.
And you can't say Purdue. Because I don't think Purdue... Every year, Purdue is the same team. Last year, they lost to who? Fairleigh Dickinson?
Yeah.
Fucking Fairleigh Dickinson.
A no-name college that nobody knows.
Yep. I mean, I see Nebraska making it. I see all the first, except for Butler. I think Butler will be out. I think you're going to see Butler out. Out of those teams in the bubble right now, I'm going to say this. I think Butler will be out. Ole Miss will be out. I think Utah will be out. So I think those 3 teams will be kicked out. I think TCU will fall into one of the last 4 in. They will maybe like the second to last team to make it.
TCU?
Yes. I think that you will see Wake Forest move up. I think you will see Memphis maybe slide into the first team out. But I don't really see Nova making it. I can see Cincinnati making it, but it's so hard with that division.
Right.
That conference is disgusting. Like Kansas, Houston, Iowa State, Texas, Baylor, Oklahoma. I just routed off 6 teams right there that are making the thing and they're top 8 seeds. Like, let's go to the bracket breakdown real quick. So, Big 12 has 9. SEC has 9. Big 10 has 6. Mountain West has 6. Big East has 4. ACC has 4. Pac-12 has 3. American has 2. And WCC has 2, which is Gonzaga and St. Mary's. It is a 56-46 game for the. It's a 16-14 game for Texas Houston. Butler's up 35-34 at halftime. Wake Forest is still down by 3 now. That's a better game than this one, Trey.
Cool.
The Wake Forest. We gotta get ESPN Plus. I gotta get ESPN Plus again, so we can watch all the college basketball or college baseball and all the college basketball tournaments. But then, if we see Wake Forest beat them, though, that would be huge. And Virginia is. It is a huge swing of points right there. Virginia is up by 7 now, as we were all talking. Let's see. Dun 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 dun. Fairleigh Dickinson this year is 12-14, bro. Georgia is only up by 3 now. Houston's 19-7. Richmond at halftime has put up 52 points on George Washington.
Oh yeah, Richmond just lost to UMass, right?
Yeah. Beekman for Virginia has 18 points. Then you have Radford for Texas A&M, who has 19. Sears for Alabama has 16 points and 3 steals. I feel like that Alabama game was sloppy, though. It's a 20-point game. Iowa State's up. Iowa State is for real, you guys. Because Texas Tech just destroyed Kansas.
Literally.
TCU's down by 3 in a must-win for both of these teams. Nebraska's up by 20 now. Butler's only up by 1.